You've been lied to about money, not in an obvious way, not with malice, but systematically, subtly, and profitably. The financial advice industry has spent decades perfecting a formula that sounds like wisdom, but functions like a cage. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how this system works, why it's designed to keep you average, and what you can actually do about it. Think about the last 5 pieces of financial advice you heard. Let me guess. Save 10% of your income, diversify your portfolio, max out your 401k, cut out that daily latte, buy index funds, and wait 40 years. Sound familiar? Here's the uncomfortable truth. This advice isn't wrong. It's just incomplete. And that incompleteness is extremely profitable for someone, just not for you. I'm going to break down the 3-part system that keeps most Americans financially average, show you who benefits from this arrangement, and give you the framework the top 1% actually use. But first, we need to understand something crucial about how financial advice became an industry. Let's go back to the 1970s. Before then, financial advice was either for the wealthy, who had private advisors, or it didn't really exist for regular people. Then something changed. The 401k was created in 1978, not as a retirement solution, but as a tax loophole. Companies realized they could shift retirement risk from themselves to employees. Suddenly, millions of Americans needed to figure out investing. Enter the financial advice industry. But here's the problem. You can't give personalized advice to millions of people. It doesn't scale. So the industry did what every industry does when it needs to scale. They standardized. They created a one-size-fits-all model. Save consistently. Diversify broadly. Think long-term. Don't try to beat the market. And look, this advice works. If you follow it religiously for 40 years, you'll probably end up comfortable. You'll retire with enough. You'll be fine. You'll be average. And that's exactly the point. This system was never designed to make you wealthy. It was designed to make you stable enough that you don't become a social problem while generating consistent fees for the financial industry. The average 401k fee is between 1% and 2% annually. Doesn't sound like much, right? But on a $500,000 account over 20 years, that 1% fee costs you over $100,000 in lost growth. Multiply that by 60 million Americans with 401s, and you start to see the machine. We're talking about trillions of dollars in fees extracted from the middle class, all while being told this is the smart path. But here's what they don't tell you. The people giving this advice don't follow it themselves. The wealthy don't put their money in diversified index funds and forget about it for 40 years. They don't obsess over cutting small expenses. They play a completely different game. And that game has 3 rules that directly contradict everything you've been told. Rule number 1 of keeping you average. Focus on saving, not earning. Every personal finance guru tells you to cut expenses, stop eating out, cancel subscriptions, make coffee at home. And mathematically, yes, this works. If you spend less, you keep more. But here's what this advice actually does. It trains your brain to think small. You spend mental energy agonizing over a $5 latte while ignoring the fact that your salary hasn't increased in 3 years. You optimize for pennies while dollars walk out the door. The math is simple but devastating. If you make $60,000 a year and cut expenses by 20%, you save $12,000. If you increase your income by 20%, you make an extra $12,000. But now you have a higher baseline for every future raise, promotion, and opportunity. One is a ceiling, the other is a floor. But the financial advice industry doesn't make money teaching you to earn more. They make money managing the money you slowly accumulate by spending less. So they keep you focused on the latte. Rule number 2, diversify everything. Now, diversification makes sense if your goal is to not lose. It's a defensive strategy. You spread your bets so widely that you're guaranteed not to fail catastrophically, but you're also guaranteed not to win spectacularly. The wealthy don't diversify like this. They concentrate their investments in areas where they have knowledge, control, and unfair advantages. Then they diversify only after they've built significant wealth. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, famously said, "Diversification is protection against ignorance. It makes little sense if you know what you're doing, but the average person is told to buy a little bit of everything and hope the market goes up." Why? Because it's safe advice. Financial advisors can't be sued for telling you to buy index funds. It's CYA advice, not wealth building advice. Rule number 3, think long-term, meaning wait. This might be the most insidious piece of advice because it sounds so wise. Time in the market beats timing the market. Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. Just be patient. All true statements, all designed to make you passive. Here's what they're really saying. Don't try to learn about money. Don't try to understand markets. Don't try to find opportunities. Just hand us your money and check back in 40 years. This turns you into a passive participant in your own financial life. You're not building wealth. You're storing money and hoping. The difference is everything. The wealthy don't wait passively. They learn actively. They study assets, markets, and opportunities. They move when they see advantage. They're not gambling. They're operating from knowledge. But you've been told that's risky and you should just stick to the plan. So what's the alternative? What do the wealthy actually do? They follow 3 different rules. First, they focus on asymmetric opportunities. This means they look for situations where the potential upside vastly exceeds the downside. Starting a business where you invest $10,000 of time and money but could build something worth millions. Learning a high-income skill that requires 6 months of effort but doubles your earning potential. Buying real estate in an emerging area where you risk $30,000 for a down payment but could gain $200,000 in equity. These aren't gambles. They're calculated risks with massive upside. The average person is told these are too risky and to stick with their index funds, returning 7% annually. But here's the math. $10,000 in an index fund growing at 7% for 40 years becomes about $150,000. That same $10,000 invested in yourself, your skills, your business, or strategic opportunities could become $1 million or more. The risky path is often safer because you have control. Second, they buy assets that produce income, not just appreciate. The standard advice is to buy stocks and real estate that go up in value. The wealthy buy things that pay them while they wait. Rental properties that generate cash flow. Businesses that distribute profits. Dividend stocks that pay quarterly. The difference is psychological and practical. When your assets pay you, you're not dependent on selling them to benefit. You become financially stable faster, which gives you options. Here's a real example. Would you rather own $500,000 in index funds that might be worth $600,000 in 5 years, or own 3 rental properties worth $500,000 that generate $3,000 per month in cash flow? In 5 years, the index fund might give you $100,000 in appreciation. The rental properties give you $180,000 in cash flow plus appreciation, and you controlled the outcome. Third, they invest in their earning power first, assets second. This is the biggest secret. Before the wealthy put serious money into stocks, real estate, or businesses, they invest in themselves. They pay for coaching, courses, masterminds, and mentors. They buy access to rooms where deals happen. They spend money to learn skills that multiply their income. A $5,000 course that teaches you how to negotiate might sound expensive, but if it results in a $20,000 salary increase, it paid for itself 4 times over in year 1. A $10,000 mastermind might seem outrageous until you make one connection that leads to a $100,000 opportunity. The return on investing in yourself is virtually unlimited, but the financial advice industry can't sell you on this because they don't make money from your growth. They make money from your assets. So I'm not telling you to abandon all traditional advice. Max out your 401k match. It's free money. Build an emergency fund. Stability matters. But stop thinking that's the whole game. That's the foundation, not the finish line. Start asking different questions. Instead of, how can I save more? Ask, how can I earn more? Instead of, what should I invest in? Ask, what can I learn that would make me more valuable? Instead of, should I diversify more? Ask, where do I have an unfair advantage? The system wants you average because average is predictable, manageable, and profitable for everyone except you. But you're not average. You're watching this video, which means you're already asking questions most people don't ask. That's the first step. The second step is acting on different rules. Financial freedom isn't about following a 40-year plan created by people who don't follow it themselves. It's about understanding the real game, playing by different rules, and building wealth on your terms. The advice that keeps you average is everywhere. The advice that makes you wealthy, you have to seek it out, and now you know where to start looking. If this changed how you think about money, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more content that breaks down what the top 1% actually do, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.